Can you really go over the top in trying to reach people with the gospel? We're trying to help these people grow and love coming to church. There are some youth ministries and children's ministries and kids go back and they're like, man, that was boring. I don't want to go. And games is something God can use. The goal, the whole point of children's ministry is not games. I hope you know that. It's not games. It's not fun. This is just something God can use to help bridge us to gospel, to planting truth, to spiritual growth. Hello and welcome to the Great Commission Toolkit podcast. I'm Chase Williams, and I'm glad you joined us today. I am not with my beautiful wife. It's a sad day. You probably should just skip this episode, I'll be honest with you. But we're going to do it, and it's going to be fun. But we're going to do a series on this training conference that we recently did, a kids ministry training conference. And we're going to go over a few things in this book. And here's the goal. The goal is for this to be a resource for individuals, for youth pastors, for children's pastors, for senior pastors, but it to double as something churches could do together. We are in the process of raising funds for a camper. Hopefully, if you're listening to this in a year from now, we won't be in that process anymore, but we're in the process of doing that. And we are going to offer these if you want some, if you want the digital copy to print them, or if you'd like us to print them. We've got a nice cover here. It's pretty glossy, and then a nice paper in the middle there. But if you'd like us to print them and ship them to you, so you can go over this with your church, we're going to offer it with a donation of any amount to our camper fund. Okay, so if you would like to invest in us being able to continue doing what we're doing, we are in need of a new camper. And you'll get a training book out of the deal. In this session, we are going to talk about going from good games to great games. And great is going to be an acrostic. I don't know about you, but I love games. And I've traveled all over in evangelism, seen camps run games. I've seen churches run games, youth pastors run games, Sunday school teachers, children's church workers. And there's some things that really, really, really make a difference. All right. But before we get there, let's jump back into why in the world do we do games? Here's a few just philosophical reasons. They're not in any specific order, but one of them is to connect with people. Man, game time is a great time to break down walls, build relationships, have fun. Not just for the sake of having fun, but to connect with people so that they'll listen when you give the gospel, so that they'll listen when you connect with them one-on-one. The purpose is really to connect with people. Second purpose, depending on the game, is to reinforce truth, review truth. There are lots of review games. Not all games are review games. If you are playing kickball, normally not a review game, okay, but it's a great game to build connection, break down walls so that people listen when you preach, give the gospel, or what have you. And then games are great promoters. Many times the reason why people come to different church events is, man, I'm so excited about this game. There are ministries that are very evangelistically driven, and what gets people to come are their big games. And so games really have a huge part in connection, which allows you to plant seed and sow seed and pour water, spiritually speaking. They're great in the area of promotion. You can really use games to help get more people to come so that then you can plant more seed. And then they're great. Number 3, this is going to bother people because it doesn't have a shun at the end, but it's great in reviewing truth. Okay, reviewing truth. If you can think of a TION or SION word, put it in the comments. All right, send it to me. And next time we make this video, if that happens, we'll put it in. Okay, but please put it in there because it's bothering me that I can't think of a shun word for reviewing truth. Yeah, it's not coming. It's not coming. Anyway, So we're going to talk about just some practical things when it comes to running games. All right, here we go. The G in great games is this. It is the goal of the game. When you run a game, you want to make sure everyone knows the goal of the game. Sometimes we're like, yeah, that's obvious. Well, sometimes like there's no point. Why are we doing this? You want to make sure they know the game. How do you win around? The goal of the game is what? And say it like that. The goal of the game or the object of the game is what? And then R stands for rules of the game. I don't know about you. Sometimes I've played games and then I forgot a rule. And that's kind of awkward because one team is really upset because, well, this wasn't fair. And you're like, yeah, you're right. And it's because I forgot to explain this. And then the other team like killed it and did amazing because they thought, oh, what if I do this little cheat thing? And they didn't know it was a cheat thing. They thought it was just smart. And it's because you forgot to explain a rule. All right. So goal of the game, R, rules of the game. And then E stands for example of the game. Have workers or someone who knows how to play the game. All right. Which means you need to tell your workers or someone before you explain the goal of the game, rules of the game, how the game works so that they can do an example round or an example of the game. This does not have to be a full round. It can just be like the main idea or the gist, so to speak, of the game. And you can sometimes do the example of the game while you're giving the goal of the game and the rules of the game. And it's a lot of fun. If you're a little goofy with it, it's even more fun. And this is a silly example, but if you're doing kickball, you have to kick the ball. And so you can say you can't throw it and have a person throw it. You can say you can't blow it, have a person blow it. You do all these goofy things. You can't bow it and have a person trying to elbow it. You got to kick it. So anyway, that's a terrible example. But if you have an example of the game, it will really help people understand and grasp the game. It's boring when you go to try to play a game and nobody knows how to play. And if you have the goal of the game, rules of the game, example of the game, pretty much they got it. Now, I will say this. A stands for atmosphere of the game. If you have worked with teenagers, especially, often with kids, especially the upper elementary, sometimes you're like, okay, you guys know what you're doing? And they're like, no. And you're like, I just explained the game. And it is because sometimes they were not listening at all. And so if you have that example of the game and it's fun and you go over the goal of the game, rules of the game with a sound system, it will really help. It'll make a huge difference because even if there's a little chatter going on, the people who do not know how to play the game especially will be listening. And if you have to raise your voice and shout and different things to get attention, really what it causes is tension, not attention. And it can really distract. And instead of this being an opportunity for you to build a good relationship so you can pour in truth here in 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes or whatever, and now everyone is like, why is this person so angry at me? And so it's much better if you can use a sound system and kind of talk at your regular tone-ish, but you'll be much louder. And it just shows, hey, you're in control, and it's much more positive environment. So if possible, use a sound system. Now, I've got different recommendations. Depending on your budget, there's a lot of different things you could use. We have used a Bose S1 Pro Plus, and then there's a bunch of them out there, but just a little wireless XLR that plugs right into it, and then it plugs into a mic. It's a battery-powered speaker. We've used it for 200 plus. It's Bluetooth, so you can play music as well. And it's a great little mixer slash speaker. Samson is a little bit of a cheaper setup. It's not quite as high quality, but Samson speakers, there's a lot of different ones out there, and they come with a bunch of different mics as well. And then EV has some battery-powered speakers as well. EV, if you just Google EV battery speakers, you'll find them. They have an 8-inch, which probably would be appropriate for around 200, depending on the environment. And then they have a 12-inch, which you could do more speakers as well. They all have Bluetooth, and they would be appropriate, really inside, outside. Depending on who you talk to, there's lots of different opinions with sound systems. But if you can use one that is clear, which those will do a pretty good job of being clear, it really will make a difference in your communication with the kids. Sometimes you have a sound system, but it's not loud enough, it's not clear, it's positioned weird. And so sometimes it can cause a little more hurt than help, but it's not difficult at all to set up a speaker, point it towards the people, and turn the microphone up loud enough, and it will really help you have a clear presentation of the goal of the game, rules of the game, example of the game, and help in the atmosphere of the game. Underneath that atmosphere is not just a microphone, but one thing that makes a huge difference in games is music. If you can find some appropriate game music, it is incredible the difference it makes in the just atmosphere and fun of the game. If it's a game where you're running and then all of a sudden you go slow motion, having that appropriate music for that makes a huge difference. There is a reason why pretty much in every single restaurant, every single store, almost every single place you can go, there is background music. And it is because it sets the tone. It sets, as Gen Z would say it, the vibe, all right, for the game or the restaurant, or you fill in the blank. And if you can have music going that's appropriate, it will really make a difference. All right. And if it's a game where there are different routes, having a PowerPoint that has those things, what does it do? It just helps in the atmosphere of the game. Special lighting, a whistle, and ref shirts. What does that do? It just helps in the atmosphere of the game. Sometimes we're like, okay, that's a little over the top, but why are we doing this? Okay, one of the reasons is to reach more people with the gospel. In my opinion, can you really go over the top in trying to reach people with the gospel? We're trying to help these people grow and love coming to church. There are some youth ministries and children's ministries, and kids go back and they're like, man, that was boring. I don't want to go. And games is something God can use to help people just love that aspect of youth ministry, children's ministry. Now, the whole point of children's ministry is not games. I hope you know that. It's not games. It's not fun. This is just something God can use to help bridge us to gospel, to planting truth, to spiritual growth. And so the atmosphere of the game, really put thought into that and go for it, and adjust it as needed, and get feedback, get people cheering. Man, that makes a difference. And give out points for that. Have team spirit points. Sometimes you're like, hey, Chase, it's like 10 kids. Yes, get them cheering. It'll make a huge difference. Sometimes you're like, I tried, they didn't cheer. What you need to do is get your workers to cheer as well. And once you kind of help people know it's okay to cheer, it's okay to shout a little bit, it's okay to get excited, they'll let their walls down and they'll just go over the top. All right, try it. If you are passionate about it, it will spill over, and they'll be passionate about it as well. One small thing that helps is after each round, swap sides. Why would you do that? Well, you don't have to. It makes no difference in the game. But for some reason, it just helps build a little bit of excitement, a little bit of anticipation, and it makes things a little extra even. If some people are like, hey, it was easier on that side than the other, well, we're going to swap sides. We're going to swap sides. And it just helps in a transition and really the overall atmosphere of the game. And one other thing I do want to mention, it's the T in great, and it is timing of the game. So you got goal of the game, rules of the game, rules of the game. How do you spell great? E, example of the game, atmosphere of the game. T is timing of the game. Here's what you want to do. You want to end the game at its peak. If you play the game, maybe they're having a blast, but if you play it too long, then it builds, it gets exciting, and then it starts to go down. And if you cut the game off as it goes down, then next time you go to play it, they're not going to remember the exciting part. They're going to remember when the game went down, it wasn't as exciting. So you want to cut off the game at its peak, okay? So I would encourage you to try to always have 2 games and a backup game at a minimum of that if you're having an official game time. If it's a review game, it may not matter quite as much, but I would try to have 2 games and a backup game, because sometimes you try a game and it's a flop. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you try a game and you're like, okay, these kids, they're just not getting it. All right, maybe they're just not smart enough. I'm just kidding. That's another thing. But sometimes like they're just not getting it. It's not working. This is a game for older kids. These kids are too young, or this is a game for young kids. These kids are too old. And so if you have a backup game, it will help transition, and you can very quickly go over the goal of the game, rules of the game, example of the game, atmosphere of the game, and swap things out. So have that in your mind. And when you end a game, end it at its peak, so that next time you go to play the game, kids are going to be like, I can't wait. Yes, I love that game. All right. So end them at its peak. And then I would encourage you, underneath timing of the game, is use a timer. Have timed rounds. And if a round starts to get stale, just cut whatever time you have there. Maybe it's 2-minute rounds. Cut it down and say, okay, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. And what that does is it's almost like a shot of adrenaline. Like they're like, okay, hurry, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. If you're playing capture the flag, 30 seconds. And if they're just, playing safe, 30 seconds, like they're going to risk it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to run. They got 20 seconds now, 15 seconds, and just count it down. And if you start, 15, 14, what will happen is everyone else will join in on the countdown. What is that? It builds excitement, helps with the atmosphere of the game. So when you're thinking about games, think about these 5 things. I almost said 3. Spelling is just not my gift today, all right? But remember these 5 things. The goal of the game. They need to know how to win. What's the purpose? Maybe it's not a win-lose game. Maybe it's just an eating competition or whatever, okay? A song, I don't know. But they need to know the goal of the game. And then rules of the game. How do I play? What's against the rules? And don't take forever on those things, but make sure they know those things. And then example of the game. You can do the example of the game while you're going over the goal and the rules, all right? That will really help people know how to play. And then remember the atmosphere of the game. When you're doing these things, let me encourage you, if at all possible, use a microphone. It will really help. Have some appropriate music for that. And when the game starts, turn up the music. When you talk a little bit, turn it down. You can MC when you're doing the game. Oh, this person, they got him. Oh, they missed bad. You don't be rude, okay? But just you can have some fun with that, and talk about or make sure you put thought into the atmosphere of the game, and then in the game, timing, that's what T stands for, in the game at its peak, and have timed rounds, and things like that will be very, very helpful in you going from good games to great games. What's the point? The point in this is not just to have fun. The point is to have fun for the sake of the gospel, to have fun for the sake of reaching more kids. There are some, even people who are saved going to church, who really have not served much. Helping in games can be a way people who maybe aren't comfortable teaching or leading music, they can keep scoring a game. And they can be quiet and just have that together and give you the score at the end. And it's a way where you can help them grow spiritually by getting them a little bit out of their comfort zone and really being a part of the ministry. So really, there's a lot you could do in games, but sometimes we just wing it. Sometimes we don't really think about the overall goal. Why are we doing this? It's not just for fun. This is a spiritual goal. We want to help these people grow spiritually, the workers grow spiritually, and we want to reach more people with the gospel. Hope this was a help to you. And there is a QR code. If you got the booklet, there's a QR code, and it has probably over 100 different games. Some of them are PowerPoint games. Some of them are outdoor games, indoor games, minute-to-win-it type games, icebreaker games, group games where everybody's doing something inside. So anyway, I hope that can be helpful. And listen, if you got any tips tips, maybe like, hey, Chase, this really helped me in running games, drop it in the comments. Man, please let me know. I would love to see that. And if we can be a help to you, please reach out. You can contact us through the comments, or you can contact us through messaging us on our website. And if we can do anything, I mean this, we really want to. So please let us do that. Hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching the video.